Hello, it's me. Yeah, it's me. It's sir. It's sir. It's the day after. It's the day after our affair. Y'all, we had an affair. We had a love affair. And we were divided in our affairs. Yesterday I talked about which show I'm going to watch. Whether Roland Martin or America. America, this is you. And the people in the comment section said, you know what? I think you're crazy. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go in the black folks. We're going to go over there in the neighborhoods and hang out in the neighborhoods. So that's good. That's good. We had an affair. We had a little separation. We had a dividing. All right. And we need to come together and talk about this relationship you and I have. Because I love you. Scene 60.
You're good. Don't stop it.
Bass.
It's the show that will get you thinking, and where the topics are hot. Feel free to comment whether we agree or not, 'cause he's got something to say.
Sir Walter Jones. Sir Walter Jones.
He's got something to say. Sir Walter Jones.
Sir Walter Jones.
Reporting live 7 days a week, always on time, but his time is not free. Sir Walter Jones, always on fleek. Latest trending topics, had you jumping out your seat.
He's got something to say.
Come on in. The water's fine.
Hello, my So What Jones show. I'm here. It is the midday connection, baby. How you was coming to Water Fine? Y'all doing all right, bunkers? It's so good. Huh? I love you. Can we talk this out? Huh? Can we get back together again? Because I just felt like I was saying something yesterday that was hurting you. It was hurting you. You felt like I just abandoned you after all you've done for me. You come and you visit me every day. Between the hours of 1:30 and 2, sometimes 2:30, you come. You at work and you got a busy day. You're doing things, to make a living, and you come by here and see me because you love me. And I just felt like our relationship is. We got problems. It's difficult. It's complicated. Our relationship is complicated. And I just want to know, can we talk? Can we talk for a minute? Bunkers, I want to know your name. I know your name. Renee said, do we have to? So let me talk to y'all because, Veronica, yesterday, I was telling the people that I will not be watching Roland Martin during the time that the king, will be up talking at his addressing Congress. That was not a State of the Union address. You understand? Kirk said, you are so ridiculous. That was not a State of the Union address, although when you looked at it and you didn't know what it was, you would have thought it was a State of the Union address. He did everything that he's going to do next year when he does what the Constitution tells him to do, is to do a State of the Union address. All right. With all that being said, I said you all need to be watching that. I said you should watch it. That's what I said. All right. You should watch it. I didn't say you must. I said you should. And boy, was it exciting. Woo! It was a rumble in the jungle, y'all. It was a dump on Donald Trump. It was a romance with J.D. Vance. It was a Cronson or Mike Johnson. I couldn't find I will say, it was a smear on Al Green. No, it was a bean on Al Green. Is that his name, Al Green? I so in love with you. Al to the Green thought that and I think he planned this. I think he planned it, you all. I think he knew that the Democrats had to do something. So what did you weak Democrats do at this thing? You all brought in signs. Fake news or false or something. You just brought in signs. Some of the Democrats, while the king was talking, was on their phone, just looking at their phone. They're just looking at their phone. And making a whole bunch of noise, trying to stir it all up. Democrats, you actually don't know what to do you? Huh? So you all didn't watch it. Now y'all asking me what happened? Negroes, you didn't watch it? Huh? You didn't want to watch it. You was over there watching Roland Martin, huh? You was over there watching a Reverend Barber with his African attire. You was over there doing it, right? Saying stuff that you was like, you know what? I'm only here because I'm black and I have to do this. I have to stand in solidarity with my black people. That's the only reason why y'all was over there watching Roland Martin, because you needed to be part of the herd. But you black people cracked me up at that. But yet the rumble in the jungle was happening on the news and in front of everybody around the world was watching that, not Roland. They was watching that because it's your house. Let me tell you something. Let me say something to y'all because, you know, the relationship was fractured yesterday, and I'm trying to put it together. But like a man who's abusive, I don't know what to do with myself right now. I wanted to come live to talk to y'all about how can we bring this relationship back together because I really love the way you cook. And the way you walk around the house, you know, it's just the way you walk around. It's just, and then the way you smell. And then the way you treat my kids, I just love you, but I need to talk to you. Here's the thing. There is no way in hell I would pay for a house and allow all that crap to happen in the house I paid for and don't be there. Come closer. Somebody need to tag Joyce. She need to be on her. There she is. I was just calling Joyce's name and then she popped up. Come closer. Do you not realize you paid for that house? You paid for it. And you're paying for the upkeep of that house. And you're paying for the staff that fills that house. I'm not talking about the White House. You paid for that too. I'm talking about the house where they was in. You understand? And then these folk come to your house and you say, I'm going in the back. I'm going in the backyard. I'm going over across town. I know this is my house, but I'm leaving the house. That's what y'all did when you decided not to watch it. And here's the thing. You voted, most of you, for the Democratic Party, and your representatives were in the house. And you said, I don't want no part of the house tonight. Not tonight. I'm going away. I don't want to. And your house was a mess. They tore your house up last night. They tore it up, y'all. They ripped that house apart. Come on, Joyce. Joyce, you always on your job. Y'all, they ripped that house. When the king walked in and mounted the podium, he began to talk, and the Democrats was rowdy, and Al to the Al Green Greer. He stood up with his cane like an old man. Listen, Sonny, you are a dictator, Sonny. And then the speaker, Mr. Johnson, he was like, crack. Hey, the king is talking. Let the man talk. And so the king started talking again. And then Al was up. Listen, Sonny, I'll beat you upside the head with this cane. And Johnson was like, pow, pow. He said, I don't know what else to say. So let me read what's on my notes because I know these Democrats go act the fool. According to Section A, Appointment 5, based off the 1899 decision by the state's attorney's office, those of you who are acting the fool need to... bailiff, get this fool out of here. So all of a sudden, all these sergeants of arms showed up. And the old man was like, get your hands off me, Sonny. Sonny, get your hands off me. Get your hands off me, you darn dirty ape. And so he got up and they walked him out. And then the sergeant, the Johnson said, "All right, King, as you were." It was a great show, y'all. It was a great show. And so you were there in your own house. Listen, prior to Barack Hussein Obama being the president in 2008, when he gave his first State of the Union address, prior to that, we have never, ever seen the kind of dissension within the House like that, ever, in American history. Making the effort is too much fun. In American history, we have never seen that kind of dissension. Maybe something happened in the 1800s. I wasn't around, but since the television came on the scene, we never seen that. We never seen that. It wasn't until a black man got in office and Joe DiMaggio or Joe somebody said, "You's a lie." And Barack was like, "It's true. It's true. It's true." Y'all remember that? And him saying "you a lie" during that time of this time will never happen. We'll never see that kind of civility ever again. When I'm saying civility, what I mean by civility is he literally apologized. What was his name, y'all? Joe somebody. He said, "You lie," and his party was like, "Shh, that's too much. That's too much." Can you imagine Satan telling Brian Song Carnality, hey, bruh, that's just a little bit too much. You went too far. Can you imagine Satan saying to Larry Reed, "Hey, bro, okay, that's too much. I know I've destroyed many. I know that I got kicked out of heaven. I know that I possess people. I know that I am the prince of the power of the air. I know that my boys are down there in hell right now. I know that the Antichrist is going to come and I'm going to give him power. I know that. But, bruh, you doing too much. That's too much. You going way too far." Can you imagine Hitler telling Stalin? Hitler saying Stalin, bruh, you need to calm that down. That's just too much. And Joe Wilson, thank you, Nicole, of South Carolina, apologized because his own party told him to do it. The Speaker of the House, who was a Republican, told him to do it. We will never, ever see that again. So then Joe Biden was up talking during his State of the Union address, and Marjorie Taylor, who looks green. Anyway, MTG broke decorum, put on her MAGA hat, put on some, I don't know what the heck she was wearing, brought in all kind of political paraphernalia, which is against the code. And nobody said nothing. Nothing. And the Republicans were so rowdy, the man couldn't get a word out. It was so rowdy, and nobody said anything. The Speaker of the House was back there and didn't say no pow, nothing. You know why? Because the Democratic Party always trying to play by the rules, which you should. But when you got another party who is the victim, what do I mean by that? The Republican Party right now is playing the victim. And when the victim wins, then comes the owner of the spoil. Y'all see what I did there? So the victim at this point in time is the Republican Party. The victim in 2020 was the Democrats. But you all are too weak. in this climate, you can't play by the rules. You can't. You can't. And that was the problem with the Democrats. When Marjorie Taylor Greene acted a darn fool, the speaker should have done the same thing that Mike Johnson did last night. They didn't do it. They said, no, we can't do this. We can't. And because y'all so sweet and cuddly and kind, you lost the election. And now, yeah, and Boebert too. You know, Boebert, the one who likes to sit in dark theaters watching a great memorabilia of American history, and she's she's using her hand to do a job with her boyfriend. While there were kids in the room, an elected official was in a dark room in public giving her boyfriend a new job. We elected these people. Y'all elected these people. Sharon Murphy, they elected these people. It's crazy. Can I get my tips? I mean, she was put in the office to help Americans get jobs, and there she was in the dark theater giving jobs. It's just stupid. So, bring it in, y'all. Bring it in. So the Manila and Vanilla was happening. Payne said TMI. It was happening last night, and you all was over there with Roland Martin. Doing what? Can I say something else to y'all about that Roland Martin thing? Here's where y'all was tricked. I can't go long because I'm hungry, and I ain't had my lunch yet. And I got Bible study. I'm going to Bible study tonight in Evanston, so I can't go long. All right, so don't make me out of a false prophet, will you please? I can't say that, Joyce, but I can put it on the screen. So let me say something to y'all about Roland Martin and all the things that black folks decided to do last night by asking you this one question. Did you really have to do that last night? Huh? What Roland Martin did last night proved my point about you Negroes. And you know what it proved? It proved that he could not hold that on any other night and get the numbers. He had to use a person in whom he and many of you hate, knowing that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I watch Roland Martin a lot. For those of you who say, shame on you. I lost a couple friends yesterday in the comment section. They were like, I followed you for years and I follow your every word. And you was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And now you're telling us to be divided. I can't watch you no more. I watch Roland Martin. I watch him a lot. He's actually got some good content over there when he got good content. And if he can stop all that cussing, he actually is one of the smartest men I know in America. Roland, there is no way I can go toe-to-toe with Roland on the Sir Walter Jones Show when it comes to politics and history. Roland got me beat. He got me beat. His whole head got me because his head is twice as big. Now you're body shaming. He got me beat. He is extremely intelligent. Here's the thing, though. I wish that these black men and women use their intelligence for the greater good instead of jumping in ridiculous fights. My dearest friend sent me a video of brother, what's his name, interviewing Candace Owens. Candace Owens is another. This was an interview by what's his name? Let me pull it up. Williams. What's his name? Stephen A. Williams. Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith interviewed Candace Owens. It's called An Interview with Candace Owens. Jay-Z sues his accuser, and he talks about other stuff. He didn't talk to Candace Owens about Jay-Z. He talked to Candace Owens about her rhetoric, her being black, and her views on Black Lives Matter and Donald Trump and all these things. And it actually was a great interview. It was a great interview. Go to Stephen A. Smith YouTube channel, all right? It was a great interview. Much of it I agreed with, much of it I did not. Candace Owens is very smart, very intelligent. She's just not as wise as she could be. Roland Martin and Candace Owens are in the same bucket. They are divided. They are enemies in a sense, but they're very smart and intelligent. But the both of them are not as wise as they could be. They say things that they should not say because all truth don't need to be heard. I need you to know this. When you in a room full of people, there are things that you know is the truth. You don't have to say it. And that's the problem with division among relationships. Sometimes a woman will say some things to a man because she thinks she needs to say it, not realizing she just destroyed him. All truth don't need to be heard. Keep that to yourself. And even Jesus, who knew truth, in many cases, didn't say a mumbling word. You understand? So there's times when Holy Ghost will say, shut up. You don't have to say it. Holy Spirit forbade some of the disciples, the apostles, don't go over there. Yeah, I know in there people over there that's not saved, but you don't need to go over there. So Holy Spirit forbade them. Don't go over there. All right. So these men, and you're right, Oscar, even Smith, he's very smart, but sometimes he could say the dumbest things at the wrong time. If I could just put Smith and Owens and Martin together and have a conversation with them, those three could rule the world and change lives positively. But they say dumb things, but they also say smart and intelligent and right things. And it becomes a hodgepodge, a mesh of ball of confusion. So I'm going back to Roland Martin. Roland Martin is so smart. And I'd be saying to myself, God, I wish I had that kind of smart. I mean, that knowledge that he have, and then he will screw it up the next sentence by saying something so dumb, so fleshly, so demonic. But I keep giving him a chance. I'll go there and I'll eat the meat, that is, and spit out the bone. I do that with Candace Owens. So she was saying things to Smith that was absolutely correct about Black Lives Matter. She was right. And she was correct about how she would say, and I've been saying this on my show a whole lot, about how black people will celebrate somebody who is a thug, who was breaking the law. A fool will rob a bank or rob a store or carjack or something like that. The police show up and shoot him in the back, and then we all are rallying with Black Lives Matter. Say his name, say his name. For what? The fool committed a crime. The police came, he decided to run, or he went for his gun, he got shot, now he's unalive. Now you want me to march in the street for that fool? No, sir. But you will join Black Lives Matter because a black man got shot. Candace is right about that. But her analogy with George Floyd is too much. It's too much. Because she meshed Black Lives Matter and how we go after thugs, how we celebrate thugs, and push George Floyd in there. George Floyd, even by white folks, was murdered. Even by white folks. You understand? So she pushes him in that, and she screws it up. Even if you believed it, you don't need to say that. That's the problem I have with these black conservatives. Elaine, that's right. Roland got a militant spirit. And he's not humble. And he don't let nobody finish their talk. People start talking and he got to interject because he's got this, he talks about Donald Trump, but in many cases, he is narcissistic. Come on, Joyce, he does. He needs Jesus and a strong mentor. Come on, Karen Flagg. Y'all are right. So that's my problem with some of these podcasters and what have you. They do brilliant work, but they need a little more Jesus, or they need at least some Jesus. They don't have them, and so they veer too far to the right, like a Candace, and too far to the left, like a Roland. And there's no in between. Y'all understand? So Roland Martin, did he have to do that thing, State of Us, yesterday? No. He could have done that any other day. He chose yesterday, which tells me we're divided. I watched it. Unfortunately, I watched Donald Trump talk almost 2 hours. That was the longest state, so-called, of union in American history. He just rambled on. And it was so many lies in his speech. I just stood there and took it. And y'all said, he ain't gonna do nothing but lie. So what? He in your house. He's saying some stuff. Don't leave your house. And the wolf is in your house. You're like, oh, the wolf is coming tonight? I'm leaving. That's what y'all did. And you went to the party. You went to the bar. That's what All in the Family does. Archie Bunker be in his house with his wife and Meathead and Gloria, and then just because somebody's coming over that he don't like George Jefferson, and he'll be sitting there having dinner with his family, and George would come over or somebody would come over and he would get up and say, he go grab his coat and his hat and go down there to Kelsey's bar. That's what y'all did last night. Y'all went over to Kelsey's bar while your house was being pillaged. And he talked for 1 hour and 45 minutes, I think it was, Joyce. He was long. It was the most divided I had ever seen Congress. And this will be Congress for the rest of the history of the United States. The old days are gone. Roland had 200,000 people show up. I'm telling you, I was watching. I snuck over and watched Roland while Donald Trump was speaking because I'm black and I want to know what's the state of our union. And I was going back and forth. And he had 200,000 views over there. Live. 200,000. And I said, wow, that's a good number to watch something like this. That's good. Because black people just don't want to watch stuff that's political, watch togetherness and all that stuff, unless it's a football game, a basketball game, some kind of World Series championship, or Beyonce is singing, all that stuff. That's the only time who's going to show up. And if he had Beyonce on tonight and did a State of Us, then a couple million people would have been watching it live. Last night, he had intellectuals and only 200,000 people was watching. See, 200,000 people is a lot of people. But for something that is called a State of Us, only 200,000 people showed up. And it went to maybe 200,016. I was watching it, y'all. It went to about 200,016 people for the couple of hours that they were on. And then when Donald Trump was done, that's 100,000 people left. Left. When Donald Trump was done, 100,000 people left. Why? Because they was watching both. Because you were over there watching Roland because you felt you owed Roland or the black community something, your presence. But you were only over there for that. That's it. That's it. So I was over here watching somebody who y'all call a liar, and that liar is affecting your house. You can close your eyes all you want to. You can close your ears all you want to. La, 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 and you going to wake up. And your whole world going to change because you do not want to watch a liar. That's the black community. I know there's a whole bunch of white folks doing that too, but I'm talking about you Negroes right now. That's the black community. And because you did that last night, you do that almost in everything in your life. That's why the school system in your town sucks. Come on, Joyce. Me too. I watched them both because I wanted to be informed. Your school system suck. Your neighborhood suck. And when you go to try to shop in your neighborhood, you're going to go to Asian shops, white shops. Hard to find a black shop. You got to go to Atlanta, Georgia to find black shops because there's so many of y'all over there. But your average town, the average neighborhood, nope. Why? Because, talk about some of you together. You be lying to yourself right here in front of everybody while you typing in here. You lying to yourself and telling everybody that I'm a darn liar. It suck. So then when the economy dip and taxes are high, eggs are high, all this stuff, and you crying. And then the man who either caused it or who could help it, you say, nope. I'm going to go on Instagram and watch some cat videos. I often bring up cat videos. And then you go and watch something blackish. I love supporting black people. And when it's time for me to eat, if I go outside and want to eat something outside, I go find a soul food restaurant. I sure do. I'm gonna do my best to find black on black on black. I sure will. I sure do. I wish I can find more. When it comes to getting the tailor, I sometimes go to a store that supports blacks. So I go to maybe a K&G, which supports a lot of blacks. Okay, even though it may not be owned by y'all, they support a lot of blacks. So I go there, or I go to somewhere else where it's a black store that sells suits. In my neighborhood, they actually sell suits. So I'll go in my neighborhood and buy some black suits. When I want to find a tailor and I see that there's a white tailor back there, I'll go find a black one. Am I prejudiced? No, I am choicey. I'm choicey. I'm just choicey. I want to support my brother. That's all. So I watch Roland Martin, and when I'm on YouTube, I see his thumbnail with his big old head. I say, you know what is he saying today? Click, and I'll watch it. And I'll get the meat. And when he started going on, start throwing bones at me, I got to turn him off. So I love supporting black people. I love it. My daughter works for an organization where they're helping families, and they want sponsors. And guess what? I'm going to write them a nice fat check, all right? Because they're doing something in the neighborhood. I love it. I support y'all. When y'all ask me to do stuff, I do it. And y'all don't support me on Patreon. Y'all don't send me nothing in the P.O. box. You don't send me nothing in the Cash App. You don't Zelle me. You don't do none of that. But when you ask me to do something, I do it. I sure do. I don't care. You in need? I'm going to do it. And this is why yesterday I was making the analogy of the woman who threw the wrapper at me after she ate the hamburger that I paid for. She got mad at me even though I fed her. And I was actually trying to make a correlation to Zelensky, who was in the White House. And he took that defensive stance. And they kept telling him, Vice President, you need to apologize. This man, war-torn. Joyce, I can't really do William Barber. I can't do William Barber. Ain't got nothing to do with what he looked like. Ain't got nothing to do with that collar that he got on his. Ain't got nothing to do with none of that. I can't stand Oscar. I can't stand that man. Got nothing to do with that. One brother, Reverend Barber, is likened to Warnock and Sharpton and Jesse. I can't do them. I just can't do them because these people focus on one thing. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Janice Parks. I didn't say any of that to fool you all to send me anything. I wasn't. This wasn't a pity party. I love you though, Janice Parks. I really do. This wasn't a pity party. I wasn't. I was just saying that how we got to support one another. It doesn't matter if you don't like this and don't like that. If somebody's doing something nice and good for the community, we really need to support folks. That's why I support Roland Martin. I've given him money because I see that he was doing something good. When he have his little fundraisers, I give. So that woman who was hungry, yes, she cussed me out. I wanted her to eat for not right now. I want her to eat tonight as well. So give her a big meal. So I was talking about Zelensky. Zelensky is desperate. He's trying to save his nation, and he got schooled by an idiot, which is Vance, and a king, which is Trump. Got schooled because they have a vindictive against him because they are palled up with Russia, and these all were Russian talking points that they did. And Zelensky, he sit there and he was like, I can't believe this. How many times have I said I thank you to America? I played it the other day. He said thank you over and over and over and over for the 3 years he'd been in this fight. He was desperate. He needed help, and they attacked that man like that. I don't care. I saw what Candace Owens said. She don't like Zelensky because she thinks that he is a beggar in chief. She calls him something. You got to go to that A. Smith interview, and she says he goes here. He wanted a seat at the Oscar, and he wanted all this. She called him a word. He could have been doing these things. And then there's the greater good. The greater good is Candace Owens supports Putin. Supports her. She supports Vladimir Putin. All right? Y'all got to go to that interview. I'm afraid if I play it on here, it may get a copyright strike. She supports him because she was given history. Some of her history was right. Much of it was flawed because she says he was trying to push NATO out of the way, not get Ukraine into NATO, because then that would be a slap in his face because what he's trying to do in the land she was talking about and all these things. I'm gonna have to put it in Patreon because if sometimes I tell y'all to go to places y'all don't go there, so I'm gonna have to put it in Patreon. So she was giving Putin credit because he too was trying to show up and save his people. All right, but there's one thing that Candace Owens must have forgotten in that interview, and I got one word. It's called Crimea. Crimea. How could she not bring up him annexing Crimea? And how do you annex? You annex the same way Donald Trump wants to get Greenland. Last night in his State of the Confusion address, he says, we want the Panama Canal or Greenland. He says, we either going to get it, y'all, if y'all give it to us, we'll do it peacefully or we'll do it another way, but we're going to get it. There is no president in your time I have ever heard say on the world stage, listen, we either going to do this the peaceful way or we're going to do this the hard way. The peace president, he said, we taking that. Now, either y'all going to give it to us or we're going to take it. We're going to take the Panama Canal. That's what he said last night. Candace Owens praised Putin and forgot about what he did to Crimea and put in a puppet there, a puppet leader. Number two, the Bible. That's where she fall short too. She don't know scripture. God is going to put a hook in the jaw of Russia and have Russia to come down and pick up Libya and pick up Ethiopia on the way, pick up Iran on the way, pick up Turkey on the way in, and try to destroy Israel. Russia is the world's demon. So when Zelensky was in the White House saying, what kind of democracy are you talking about, Vice President? Diplomacy. He said, you can't trust Putin. And then Vance was like, listen, Mr. President, I think it's a shame and a disrespect, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, wait a minute. You both are taking Putin's side because he wants peace? No. You all will give him peace at my expense, and then you're going to walk away from the deal, and I've got to deal with Putin. He's going to break the peace, and he's going to come over and take everything. How did he get Crimea? The Bible says that that's exactly what the Antichrist is going to do. He's going to make a peace deal with Israel. And then there's going to be no walls there, and they all going to be celebrating peace. And then he's going to go into the temple, sit there. He's going to kick the Jewish people out of town, and then sudden destruction is going to happen. Candace don't know the scriptures. Nor do any of you who are trying to give Putin a peace deal. And y'all put in, you white evangelicals and you some of you black folks, put in a man who you call Cyrus. Cyrus was used by God, even though he was not a holy man. He did the right thing. So y'all called Trump Cyrus. But Trump is in bed with a dictator who was trying to destroy that piece of land just so that he can get it. So there's a fight over Ukraine because of its minerals. And Trump keeps calling it raw earth. It's not raw earth. It's rare earth. Those minerals is worth billions. And Putin wants it. Trump wants it. And if either one of them get it, they're going to share it. And you can't see that. You can't see it. So I get it. You all did not want to watch the liar in chief. I get it. But let me tell you, you didn't have to watch it. But I'm telling you, the way you typing tells me you don't watch none of that stuff anyway. You don't watch no State of the Union address. You don't watch the news because you think it's depressing. You're not connected to none of this stuff. You are isolated from what's going on that will affect you and your children one day. You're not a wise investor. You're not a good steward of the future of your children. You need to be well aware. After Trump gave his address, the Democrats gave their response. That's typically what happens at State of Union addresses. And what she said is like she watched my show. She said, you all have removed yourself from what's going on in current events. You are literally removed yourself, and you are living on an island, and you know no man is an island. And that's what black people do. When you're faced with what you don't understand, you remove yourself and go over there to a safe place. And so you went over there to Roland's barbecue, and you sat there in that room, and you wasn't really listening to anything. You were only there to show solidarity, and that's why some people go to funerals. You don't go to the funeral because you know the person who might have died. Sometimes you go to funerals because you're doing that to show that the family that I'm here to support you. So you go to the wake at 10 o'clock, and you walk by the family so they can see you supporting them, and you shake their hands, and then you walk out and go back home. You don't stay for the funeral. That's what y'all did last night. You went over to Roland Martin and showed yourself up. You showed up, and we can see y'all. I saw all the comments, and you showed up. Say, "Hey, I'm here, Roland." You was at the wake. Y'all crazy, boy. Come on, Dion. You jump shipped. You jump ship. Meanwhile, your house is on fire, and you said, "I'm leaving." It was a rumble in the jungle, y'all. It was so exciting. It was exciting. It was so, yeah, Wanda, and her speech was short. It was like 15 minutes short. And she said more in those 15 minutes than he said in an hour and 45 minutes. You want to be at the table. And when they set the table up, you leave the room. So now you don't have an opportunity. You had an opportunity to sit at the table. You decided not to sit at the table. So now that you're not at the table, you are on the table. Last night you were the dish. You was the meat. David said, "Yea, though I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies." So last night, a table was prepared for me, and I sat there, and I dined. And I wanted to know, what is this fool thinking? And he told us what he was thinking. Even though he lied. And he spent most of that time bringing in people who were private citizens, celebrating them and pandering. That's what each party do. You pander. And so he brought up a cute story of this 15, 13-year-old boy who wanted to be a police, but he had cancer, and he survived cancer. It was the most emotional night, a part of the night, where everybody agreed with that, because that's what every politician do. Bring some milk in the room. And it was a touching moment. And Donald Trump had the Secret Service man to install this young boy as a Secret Service agent. It was the most amazing part of the night. It happened in your house, and you weren't there to see it, even though it pandered to us. It was a night. I like politics as much as I can't stand it. I like the structure of politics. When it works great. But when it don't work, it sure does destroy us, don't it? Yep. He used that child. He used him. And it worked. Definitely it was theatrics. And he did theatrics for the rest of the night. Guess who else did it? Biden. Guess who else did it? Barack Hussein Obama did it. Bush did it. Clinton did it. Ronald Reagan did it. Jimmy Carter did it. Richard Nixon did it. Gerald Ford did it. JFK did it. LBJ did it. They all do it. And it worked. So, if Roland decide to do a state of us tonight, he would not get 200,000 people to show up. No way. Why? Because that's how divided y'all are. You ain't coming to that. Last night was like taking candy from a baby. And how do you get a toy out of a kid's hands? Introduce that kid to a new toy. But make sure the new toy is better. At least appear to be better. Social Fire get to see here. And when you show that kid the new toy, he gonna drop Woody. It's in my book. This book right here. It's in my book. Maybe it's in my second book. It's somewhere around here, okay? Woody, that dog, he loved him until Buzz Lightyear showed up. Buzz Lightyear showed up. And Woody, he let Woody go. Woody fell to the ground. Slow motion. He fell to the ground and got kicked up under the bed. Buzz Lightyear, he can talk. He flies. But they found out. He realized one day that Buzz Lightyear actually couldn't fly. Buzz Lightyear thought he could fly. That's the whole thing. Buzz thought he could fly. He was tested. And when he leaped, he said, to infinity and beyond. And he slowly began to fall just like Woody did. That is what happened to the Roman Empire. And because we are the new Roman Empire, that's exactly what's going to happen to us. Y'all see what I did there? We are the new world order. And that order is disorder. So God, we thank you for your presence. We thank you for your blood. We thank you for your love. We thank you for giving us the knowledge that we need to try and educate and warn the people of the wolf. The wolf ain't coming. The wolf is sitting here in our room. The wolf is in the house. And we left the house so that the wolf can tear the house down. So God, thank you for those who are staying on the wall. Nehemiah. Thank you, Holy Ghost. And thank you for sending me that example of the Nehemiah story. She also reminded me of the Nehemiah story. God released them from Babylon to go back and to build the wall. Israel was destroyed. It was in utter ruin. And all while it was in ruin, nobody said nothing. But as soon as the Israelites came back to build the temple and build the wall, the people who were living there all of a sudden had a problem. You didn't say nothing while it was sitting there not doing just bricks everywhere, ruin. Now they want to come and build up, and that's how you black people feel when white folks come in your area and start building up, and y'all call it gentrification. What the heck was you doing? When this lot was vacant, this building here was burned, and it's been there. This store has been vacant for 30 years, and white folks come in there and start building. Now you upset? Now you getting mad? That's what's happening here in Chicago. The Mexicans are coming in, and the city is now taking what has been demolished, and they're building it up so to house these foreigners, and then the black folks are getting upset. Really? They come here to build the wall, and you ain't do nothing. Black folks, listen, you did that when you decided to leave your house and go over there to Roland Martin. It's been sitting here. The problem has always been here. Why y'all haven't been getting together over the past months and years and decades to try to shore up your communities? Nothing. So the enemy came, and now he's doing this, and Doge is coming in here and doing this and killing this and getting rid of this, and now y'all upset? Nehemiah, he came to build the wall. I love y'all, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Hit me up with some bad comments and put some more thumb downs. I see quite a few of y'all thumb downs. Let me know how much you hate me. But before you get to heaven, you're going to have to love me. All right? You're going to have to love me. All right? But right now you hate me. But I sure love it at y'all. I don't like you either. But I sure love you. All right? I'll see your hate mail later on. Meanwhile, let's move on to glory. I'll see y'all tomorrow for something else. I'm sure something in the news gonna pop up, and I'm gonna come live and then upset y'all even more. Go to the men's room tonight. Patreon, the Roland Jones Show, 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. We're talking about we're talking about there's a little boy in all men. That's the subject tonight. There's a little boy in all men. I'm going into my book tonight. 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Meet me in the men's room. $5.
The 4 Women That Men Desire by Sir Walter Jones is a women's guide to men. The authors endeavor to expose men fundamentally with his perspective on the types of women that men truly desire. He has meticulously penned a brilliant and controversial read, bold in its assertion that all women fall into one of 4 categories. Girl A, the side chick. Girl B, the mistress. Girl C, his soulmate. Or Girl D, his fatal attraction. And when a woman walks into a room, her category is showing. The 4 Women That Men Desire is funny, informative, and enlightening. It is a quick read and a must-have for your library. Head over to Amazon.com for your copy.